you're playing the wrong vertical play operator. Out of the 3 vertical play operators, Sledge, Buck, and Ram, I can guarantee you that you're playing the wrong one. So make sure you stick to the end of the video where I announce the clear winner, because it is not who you expect. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. So before determining who I think the best vertical play operator is and who you need to be playing, I'm going to be breaking down all 3 of them so that you know what they're good at, what they're bad at, and then once you know that, I can pin them up against each other to decide a clear winner. With that out of the way, I'm going to go over my first operator, which is Sledge. Sledge was the first vertical play operator that came out, and he has since been the cornerstone of what a good vertical play operator is. However, this past year, he has been continuously nerfed to the point where people are questioning if he's even a good operator anymore. To give you a clear answer on this, let's break down his loadout. He has the L8 assault rifle, which is one of the most powerful assault rifles in the entire game. It's very easy to use, with a good rate of fire, good magazine size, good damage, and a 1.5 times scope, making it all around a well-rounded AR that's easy for newer players and existing players alike. He also has the M5 shotgun, which comes on all of the other SAS operators as well as Warden. Now with the newly added shotgun buff, many of you already know about, this is actually a viable option that you can run with Sledge, which is something that I'll talk about later when we go over his playstyle. He has the P22, which is an okay pistol that can reinforce if you run out of ammo in your primary. And then he also has the choice between frag grenades, EMP grenades, and flash grenades, which are 3 of the best secondary gadgets in the entirety of Rainbow Six Siege. Even him just having frag grenades alone makes him an even better operator than the 2 that I'm going to talk about later, just because of how rare they are. At the time of this video as well, Ubisoft just announced that they might be taking away Yana's grenades, making them even more rare, which can make Sledge even more valuable. And then of course we have his sledgehammer, which I'm going to bring you into a custom game to talk to you more about. So I brought you onto Cafe, which is arguably the best map for vertical play, and I'll explain why. Cafe has so many soft floors. You have a soft floor here, and then you open the soft hatch here, and you have more soft floor here, and this is just for this side of the building. You have this soft hatch, you have all of this soft floor, all of this soft floor, all of this soft floor on that side of the map. You come down here, you come into, like, let's say reading, open this wall. All of this still soft, right? You go into fireplace, all of this soft, so there's just a lot of soft destruction, right? Now, what I mainly wanted to talk about with Sledge is the fact that there is not much that you can do with Sledge that is unique that a lot of other operators cannot do. But the one thing that is unique about him is the fact that his sledgehammer, this bad boy right here, can destroy bulletproof gadgets. So, like, if there's a deployable shield, if there's any, like, barbed wire, a zombie barricades, deployable shield, whatever it be, you can just sledgehammer it, right? And you don't even need to use the frag grenades, which allows you to use his frag grenades to either destroy what I just said earlier from a distance, or better yet, you can use it to kill players a lot more effectively, and you don't necessarily have to waste your frag grenades on utility because Sledge brings a sledgehammer that he can just sledge shit with. Now, one thing that Sledge does not have that the other operators do have is the fact that he is a 3 armor, which means it's a lot more dangerous for him to play vertically. So if I go right here and I try to sledge this open and I move back, look at how long it took me to move back after sledging, right? So let's say, boom, I sledge. Now look at how long it takes me to get back. That's a good, like, 2-ish seconds, right? But when you're playing Buck, you sledge something open, you sprint away, you're already away, right? When you're playing Ram, you're already at a distance. You could be sitting on a hard floor and you can destroy things on a hard floor, right? With Sledge, you have to get up close and personal to everything that you make vert on, which makes you easily shootable and easily nitroable. Now, one thing, again, that Sledge has is frag grenades. This allows you to be able to make plays like this, where you can shoot open the soft floor, you can put a grenade in the soft floor, and then sledge open the floor, which would then drop a grenade right there. So if you have info on anybody, instead of just making vert and trying to shoot them, you can use this nice little trick to get free kills. He's overall extremely basic as well, meaning that in terms of who's the best for newer players, Sledge is definitely the best because it doesn't get much simpler than just having a sledgehammer that breaks shit open. Really, it's pretty simple. You can do this to soft walls, soft floors, barricades, and anything else that is bulletproof that you normally wouldn't be able to do with, let's say, a Buck shotgun. So he has a lot of bulletproof destructibility. That is one thing that he has that the other operators on this list don't seem to have as much. He also has one of the easiest weapons to control, like we talked about in his loadout section, but other than that, that's pretty much all he has on the other 2 operators. My next operator is going to be Buck. Now, Buck has something that the other 2 operators don't have, and that is the ability to reliably play underneath a site when it comes to vertical play. So let's say the site is cocktail upstairs. I'm able to reliably just buck this open. Boom, bucked open. boom, bucked open. And if you don't have the laser on your gun, like I currently do, it's actually easier to get a lot more vert when you're doing it. Or you can move around, which as you can see, widens my crosshair, which makes it easier for me to do more soft destruction, right? Look at how much I did there compared to when I'm standing still. It's not even comparable, right? So you shoot it open twice, and now you have a really reliable vert underneath. You can come under here as well, do it under heaven. You can come under here, do it under bar, right? It's pretty reliable if you're just moving, if you don't have the laser on your gun, and you're moving while you're shooting. The next thing that Buck is able to do is play vert from a distance, which is very safe for him. So let's say you make vert right here, make vert right here. As the Valkyrie that's below, or really anybody with a nitro cell, if you see vert being created right here, of course you're going to nitro right there. But as the Buck, you made that vert from all the way over here. So you're completely safe because this is a hard floor. Also, as Buck, you're able to create multi-level vert. This is essentially wherever you aim and you shoot. Now you've created 2 different levels of vert. So now I can see all the way into the first floor of kitchen, all the way from the 3rd floor. And you can do this from many other places as well. Let's say open this up, open that up, boom, multi-level vert. I come over here, maybe I want something for prep, open this up, open that up, maybe a little bit more. Bam, nope, oh my god. Work with me, work with me. There we go. You can see into prep now, right there, boom, hooray. So multi-level vert is certainly an option. I don't know why it wasn't working right there. It normally is pretty safe and easy to use, but you get the idea. Multi-level vert is also not just exclusive to 2 different floors. You can use maybe like, let's say, a floor and a wall, and now I can see all the way into coffee or the backside of kitchen, whatever you call it. So this is something that is completely unique to Buck. But Ram can also do it with just, let's say, like her ability making a line there, and then also her secondary shotgun making a hole right there. So not necessarily too exclusive to Buck, but it's a lot easier to do with Buck for sure. One more thing that I want to go over with Buck is his loadout. Buck has arguably an even better gun than Sledge's, although it is a little bit harder for newer players to learn, because it has a higher fire rate. Now it does have less damage, but if you equip the extended barrel on it, like you can see I'm about to do here, that damage goes up and it actually surpasses Sledge's damage as well, making it overall just a better gun. I don't like the recoil that much, so I run Flash Hider, but that's besides the point. It has a 1.5 times scope, good damage, good fire rate, good magazine size, so it's still an overall great weapon. He also has the Gone 6, so a major complaint about Buck versus Sledge was that Sledge had hard destructibility with frag grenades, but Buck also brings this, so you can't really make the case for Buck being worse than Sledge in that instance. And then, arguably, one of the coolest parts about Buck's kit is the fact that he has flash grenades, which makes it to where you can burn the ADSs, you can burn the 1MI discs, and then you can destroy the deployable shield with Buck, making your ability to destroy bulletproof utility even easier than, let's say, a Sledge who has frag grenades, because you're actually able to burn for the shield. He also has hard breaching charges. This allows him to be able to make vert and get the hatches open all in one singular operator. Now, Ram, when she was first released on the test server, also had hard breaching charges, which completely took away Buck's entire identity as a vertical play operator. But now that those got taken away, this is something that makes Buck uniquely Buck, and very good for solo queue players alike. One more cool thing about Buck is, again, the shotgun buff, which I mentioned when we were talking about Sledge's loadout. They essentially buffed the damage over distance. So as you can see, this dummy is 10 meters away, and if I aim in with a red dot, he takes a lot more damage than he did whenever they didn't buff shotguns. As you can see, I completely just one-shot a 3-speed right there from 10 meters away, which is pretty cool. If you take it from, let's say, 5 meters away, I'm doing 156, which is enough to one-shot 3 armors. So Buck Shotgun can not only be used for destroying things, but can also be used for kills reliably at a close distance, which is something that it wasn't as reliably able to do before they buffed shotguns as a whole. Not only did they buff shotguns and the choke and the damage over distance for shotguns, but they also gave a 1.5 damage multiplier to any of the shotgun pellets that hit the head, meaning that if you aim your crosshair pretty much at chin or mouth level, you'll get good, reliable, consistent damage because you have the perfect balance of pellets hitting the head, while the majority of pellets still hit the body. As you can see, I just got 200 damage twice with 156 once, which is pretty reliable damage. Now, like I was talking about earlier, if you take the laser sight off, you get a bigger spread, and they actually nerfed the bullet spread when it comes to not having a laser on your gun. Now, this may seem like a nerf, but if you're trying to go for vertical and you're trying to get soft destruction open, maybe you're not trying to get kills, this can actually be a buff, because look at how far away I can be and how much destruction I can do. I just opened that entire wall from, I'd say, a little under 10 meters away with one shotgun shot. So if you're looking to maybe open up more vert and not go for kills, don't run the laser, and if you're wanting the opposite, run the laser. Now that we've gone over the first two vertical play operators, let's go over the newest attacking operator, which is Ram. In order for you to understand Ram's full potential and how good she is, I need to take you into her loadout. First of all, let's not even talk about any of her utility, any of her secondary weapons, even her primary ability. Let's just talk about her primary guns. First of all, she has an R4C. Everybody knows how powerful it is when it comes on Ashe. Not only this, but the R4C has the 1.5 times scope, and if you don't like that, it also has the 2x. So, for primary weapons, she's pretty stacked, as well as Zophia's LMG with the 1.5, as well as the 2x. So you can have a lot of firepower with this operator. She also has a secondary pistol, which you won't be needing because she also has a secondary shotgun. Like I said, shotguns got buffed, so all of the information that I gave you can apply to this shotgun as well. But also, with Ram, her ability travels in a straight line. So maybe there's a part of the vert that you missed. Well, you're able to clean it up and get that vert with a secondary shotgun, allowing her to be extremely versatile, while also allowing her to completely destroy the vert. Going into her secondary abilities, going into her secondary gadgets though, she has flash grenades, which we talked about with Buck being super powerful for a vertical play operator, but she also brings smoke grenades. So yes, they did actually take away her hard-reaching charges like I talked about, but the smoke grenades might actually be a better addition for this operator. Like I said with Buck, hard-reaching charges gave Buck an identity compared to the other vertical play operators because it allowed you to do something on solo queue that would otherwise require a teammate to help you out with. Smoke grenades also are the same thing. With Ram, you open up vert and it's very loud, allowing plant-friendly operators like Gridlock, Fuse, Amaru, Ying, Scent, and other operators to have their abilities go off unnoticed because of how loud Ram's gadget is. If you pair that up with smoke grenades, it makes planting a lot easier, which further reinforces Ram's niche as an operator. So right now in the test server, as you can see, Ram has 4 of her gadgets, as you can see in the bottom right corner, but they've discussed in the live build her only having 3. So in this video, in this custom game while I'm talking about her, just try to keep in mind that she actually only has 3, even though you see 4. With that out of the way, I've brought you onto Cafe in a custom game like I did with the other 2 operators, and I'm going to explain all of Ram's abilities and why she is so good. Starting off with just her primary ability. It's a tank. This thing is bulletproof, and the only way to kill it is with explosives or by shooting the canister on the back right here. Being that it's a completely bulletproof tank, it can destroy any bulletproof utility as well. And the coolest part about it is you don't even need to activate it for it to do destruction. You can throw it at barricades like this, and it break the barricade. But mainly the power in her gadget does come when it's activated. As you can see right here, when I throw it down, I have to remotely detonate it like a fuse charge, and once I do that, it moves forward. Now, my game volume was only at 10, and this thing is still making so much noise. That being said, one of these tanks just made all of that vertical destruction. All of it. So now I can see all into this room, all into this room, and with 3 more of these tanks, or I guess 2 more for the live build, I could see even more. And considering the fact that you're only really going to be playing vertical on 1 floor, because typically the site only has 1 ceiling, you really only need 1. Now, like I said, she is only going to have 3 of these, but let's say that the bomb site is like reading or something, right? Well, fortunately for you, you only need 1 drone here. If I throw it just like this, I send it forward, there it goes. Now you have vert all into the entire room of reading with 1 singular drone. You want to get behind the desk too? Oh, look at that. You can do that as well. If you want to send another drone, you can send it all the way through here. And now, boom, you have vert on the entire site. Like, it's just crazy. Now, what if you did want to get vert on the site like this, but let's say this bar table here is blocking you from doing that? Well, the cool thing about this as well is it doesn't have to go straight. You can actually curve it using your switching of the firing mode to do so, and it gives you a line to where it curves as well. So let's say, okay, I need to put it a little bit closer for the curve to actually work. I want to curve it left, right, still a little bit too close. What if I angle it more this way? Curve it, still too close. Okay, hold on. Wabam! There we go. That should be perfect. Now I make vert, and now I can curve it around the bar. Keep in mind, it does do damage to you. And now I have all of vert, right? So you don't have to worry about the bar getting in your way. The cool thing about this too is it also destroys anything next to it. So if there's a wooden bar like this, it'll destroy the entire bar if it runs alongside it. So again, look at how much vert this just created. If you really think about it, that's with 1 drone. You still have 2 more, and those 2 more aren't counterable at all. You can't counter it with mute, Aruna gates, deployable shields, zombie barricades, barbed wire, anything. Nothing counters this gadget. So you have 3 uncounterable gadgets that get more vert than the other 2 operators. So if you think about it, this operator is really good. So now that I've gone over all 3 of the operators, I'm going to give you my consensus on who I think the best vertical play operator is and who you need to start playing. Now, first of all, we should get this out of the way. Sledge is nowhere near compared to the other 2 operators. Sure, he has frag grenades, but when it comes to pure vertical destructibility, he doesn't even compare. He's too slow, his gun isn't nearly as good as the other 2 operators, they took away his SMG-11, he's easily nitroable, he can't do anything from a range, so he's just extremely limited when it comes to what he can do. So Sledge, completely out of the question. So now it just becomes a contest between Buck and Ram, and this is actually a lot harder of a question to answer than you might think. So the one thing that's keeping Buck in the running is the fact that he is easily able to be played by any solo queue player. Ram does take more coordination, but she can be more effective, while Buck is not as effective, but is easier to get value out of in a solo queue environment. His hard reaching charges make it to where you don't need to utilize teammates to get soft destruction and hard destruction in one operator, and his Gun 6 still gives him the bulletproof destructibility that he needs to be a good, well-balanced operator. He's also able to play below reliably, while Ram is only able to play below in certain situations where there's objects that allow her to do so. Ram, on the other hand, has a lot more destructibility at a lot more reliable rate that is completely uncounterable. With Buck, you need to be alive and you need to have shotgun pellets for you to create vert. With Ram, this isn't the case. You can detonate tanks all over, get so much destructibility, and it doesn't even matter if you're alive or not because the tanks will still keep going, uncounterable. She also has arguably a better gun and is more versatile with her flash grenades and smoke grenades and the shotgun that she has if you don't get all the vert that you want to with her 3 mini tanks. So it all really comes down to what you want in an operator. But if I had to give my one consensus on the best vertical play operator that I think is in the game right now, the answer is Ram. Now the reason it's not Buck is because Buck is more versatile, but Ram has a much easier time getting way more value than Buck ever could. There are certain maps like Cafe where you can do multi-level vert with Buck, where you can play under the site with Buck, and in which case, sure, Buck can be better in those certain situations, but in most situations, Ram is always going to be better because of the amount of destruction she could do and the amount of utility and weapons that she brings to back up her playstyle. Buck still is a close second. He isn't that far behind to where Ram is, so if you want to know more about him, check out this video where I break down how to actually play him in this new season, and that's it for the video. My name's Alka, and I'll see you on the next one. Later.